I have seen every Mobile Legends guides on YouTube and summarized them. In this video, I will teach you everything, starting from the draft all the way to the late game, and in just 3 minutes, I will teach you how to play like an immortal player. Let's start from the drafting phase. You epic players might just ban a random hero and pick whatever you want regardless of your team and enemies' drafts. But in reality, this is why you are still stuck in epic. During ban phase, you should ban meta heroes that your team doesn't want to pick, because if no one in your team picks it and the enemy gets to choose it, they will have an advantage over your team. During pick phase, you shouldn't pick first if you aren't planning on using a meta hero, since you will be easily countered. Instead, you should let your roamer, mage, or jungler pick first, since if they do get countered, they will encounter the counter heroes much less than exp and gold laners. And when you choose, you should also try balancing the team's early and late game heroes so you don't lose because of getting snowballed. Because of using full late game heroes or stalled because of using early game heroes, you should also try having a team that's not fully squishy. I suggest having at least 2 tanky heroes, preferably the jungler, roamer, or exp laner. And don't forget to switch your battle spells according to the final draft if needed. Next, during the early game, the mage and roamer should try to help the jungler farm or take the Litha Wanderer so that your team can get a faster gank or map vision when the turtle fight is about to happen. The tank should help to open these bushes. This is so that your chances of getting the turtle increases. The turtle is important because it gives your entire team a shield, gold, exp, extra physical and magic damage. This'll give your team an edge over the enemy team. So try to have at least 3 people during the turtle fight. And if the gold or XP laner is losing, you should try ganking their lanes to help them, since if they win, you also win. Now, during the mid-game, it should already be clear which team is winning in gold and exp. If your team is winning, try to be more aggressive, start wars, invade the enemy jungle. But you should never go off on your own if you are a squishy, since you will get picked off and that will severely hinder your team. Since the enemies get more gold if you kill someone with less deaths. If the enemies won't get out of their towers and play defensive, you should wait for the turtle to turn into the Lord and freeze the lane so that they can't farm. You can clear the minions when the Lord is coming to overwhelm them. Zone them back as much as you can to cut off their jungle from them. If you are losing, then you shouldn't start wars instead. Farm, pick off enemies that are alone, and stay near towers. Remember, if the enemies are winning, they tend to get ahead of themselves and get overconfident. This is how you can make a comeback. In the late game, you and your enemy's team should be almost fully built, and if you were winning, they could be catching up by now. The most important thing in the late game is the Lord. Before doing the Lord, try picking off as much enemies as you can, since the revive timers are very long now. So killing them would make your team have a numbers advantage during the war. And you should also clear minions before war. This will force the enemies to clear the lanes and have less people to help take the Lord. And if that doesn't work, your team's tank and exp laner can help by zoning the enemies by camping these bushes. But these were just the basics. If you want a more in-depth guide, support me by subscribing. It really helps me out a lot, since this is my first long-form video. I hope you enjoyed it, and tell me in the comments if you want more long-form videos.